Okay guys, I know this is late. This is past Christmas. I should have done this in the 12 days of Christmas, when this was supposed to be done. I've actually been busy. And when I watched this, I wasn't in the right mood to actually to review this due to noise in the background. I'll leave with other people. So let's take a little bit harder to do a review when you got people chatting in the background. And I also drank a little bit too much. So for day 11, I actually chose a Christmas horror story. I guess you know that this is an anthology for different stories. But the movie goes back and forth, to each story. You're watching one thing, then you're watching another thing, and then some people actually might find this a little bit confusing what's going on, but I actually understand what's going on. Kind of like the Pulp Fiction thing, how each story is told in different times, and this is I actually thought this was right. Now, this is from 2015. I guess you know that by now. It's directed by Grant Harvey, Stephen Houghton, and Brett Sylvan, and written by a couple, five people, Jason Hewitt, trying to pronounce his surname, sorry. Jason King, Sherry Larson, Doug Tower, Pastor Tortor. And one big star I actually thought I really liked in this was Fons William Shatner as the radio host, the one who's on the radio talking to people about certain things. I actually liked it. The drunk, radio host, but I actually thought he was okay in this. In the 80s, probably in this, and he did a good job. Now on with the stories. There are actually, like I mentioned, 4 separate stories, and I'm gonna go through each story, give a brief pros and cons, actually what I thought of it. Now on with the first story. The second story was, let me think. The first story was about the murder in a convent. Dwayne Bann and Morris Stevens have decided to break into the school into a convent to investigate the murders of 2 students, one of whom was Dan's grandson, that occurred in the school basement a year before their friend's couple was supposed to go, but she wanted to go with her parents out of town. The 3 remain, and I again locked up in the basement, and Maya becomes possessed by a witness of a bloody ghost and tries to chase Dwayne. And when he refuses her, Maya misses Shannon, and Maya says she's Ben. And the act is finished. The ghost leaves my body upon walking. Maya reveals the ghost was actually a pregnant teenager named Grace, who died when the school was a convent after nuns gave her a gruesome abortion. The ghost is only interested in having someone to give birth to her child. If they refuse, they are murdered, explaining last year's death. Despite having successfully gotten Maya pregnant, the ghost sees Ben holding a weapon, which is viewed as a threat, and the ghost kills him. The ghost then unlocks the door and allows Molly to leave. Well, the first story, I liked it. It was different. They're trapped in the basement and revealed there's a ghost down there, and all die except for one. I actually like the story, I like the plot, I like, everything that goes, in this particular story. And I guess what I mostly didn't like about it was, because it's an anthology and it's kind of spread for the story, could have been told a little bit better to people to actually understand what is going on. So I find this is actually the weakest of the story. So I'll probably give this a 6 out of 10. Now we've got the second story. Scott Petty is a police officer who runs a murder case of 2 students the year before and had to leave the force due to trauma of it on Christmas Eve. Not to leave wife Scott's convinced his family to go in the woods by year to chop down a Christmas tree before their house. During the trek, Scott on wheel wanders off and gets lost. His wife, Kimberly, managed to find Rick in a tree and are overjoyed to find him. The joy is short-lived after Will became that strange, culminating in a big contacting the family to warn that Will is actually a channeling. Forever Jew, Silver a Goodall, or whatever. After the giant kills Scott, Kim brings channeling to Big Ben. Big Ben is who he calls Sarah to warn her that her son is not actually her son, but something more dangerous, which is I'm measuring at channeling. And she has to bring him to her, or he dies, and then she has to figure out how to get rid of the channeling. It's not still unable to help her find the son, and after the channeling, the other ends with, Kim should began by accident. That's how he dies. Who containing the channeling in the grove, finally free, and channeling returned to home and frees Will. I actually find this is like one of the best stories. I actually really enjoy the story. I actually like the channeling story. Channeling, there's a kid who's not himself and kills whoever he wants to kill, and the killer's dead. And I actually like the idea that he actually goes into a tree more like and the remote function is something different. So I like the idea of that, and I give the story a 8 out of 10. And cons, once again, you really had to understand what's going on in this spirit, because it's kind of stumbling around. You might get a little confused. So it's not very bad. I like the plot, I like what's going on, so 8 out of 10 for this one. Third story, Caprice and her young brother Dukan are traveling with the parents, Tara and Diane, to visit their elderly aunt Eden. During their visit, Eden tells them about a mythical creature, the group of the Crumpets, which frightened Caprice, especially other Duncan's perfectly destroys a Krampus figure in an attempt to irritate Eden's caretaker, Gerhard. The parents decide to take the children home at Eddie's insistence. On the way, they get into a car accident, falling the walk. Away they were begin hunted by a Krampus because they acted badly. They remember to take a refuge in church, where they attempt to confess their sins in the behalf that the Krampus will leave them if they do so. However, they are picked off one by one, and until Krampus remains. Krampus remains to free aunt in his house. She is successful in killing Krampus, who transformed into Gerhard, and it's revealed that he transformed the Krampus due to anger of the family action, and Edith was fully aware that would happen. Furious Krampus angry calls them to transfer in the curse and attacks Ida. Frankly, this is actually the same with the second story. Now, this is actually quite interesting. I love the Krampus part of the story. You know, you see him, and he actually looks damn good. You know, really the look of the Krampus. You know, I love how the kids broke these things, you know, and of course Krampus to come by, and I like to reveal the Krampus actually was the caretaker, which was actually quite interesting, and how the final daughter managed to escape and return to her aunt's house, and she turns to Krampus and kills the aunt. You know, the Krampus takes the boy, you know, who, yeah. I really thought the Krampus was in most of the stories, because you see it on the front cover of the DVD, the Krampus finds Santa, but it's not really just one story. And I really love the Krampus in this. Once again, with Colin, this movie kind of, you really need to understand what's going on. You got one thing going on, you got another thing going on. So you really need to focus. So really that's the only real con I really got. But due to what's going on, I get this one an 8 as well. So far, I think a 6 first movie, 6 story, an 8 and 8. So far, I'll give this probably a 7. But we haven't got the last story yet, which is Santa Claus and the Evil Elves. While preparing for a busy Christmas, Santa Claus discovered that he already helped and his wife have turned into zombies. After one of the infected elves dies, flying a fit of rage. He managed to kill them all, but then forced to fight against the Krampus. So yeah, the Krampus does appear in the story. But there is a twist. However, when he's about to kill the Krampus, he feels that it's, the Santa, but here's the twist. You think Santa is actually killing his owl because they turn all rogue and then the Krampus comes. But you find that he's actually a more Santa. So he probably killed actually workers. His name's Norma. The other focus on Dangerous Dan radio show, played by Ryan Shatner, who had a psychotic break while working overtime. So that's Norma, and causing him to kill, which caused him to see regular more guys as zombies. During this events that the more of the Dangerous Dan had mentioned through his Booker, so dangerous. Danny and the channel will more talk about the events through the movie. Cons, no, pros. I think, I wish just wish that they will hit intend to be a. Oh, I like to turn, hear that shit. They'll turn evil to, zombies and Santa has to kill them. There's no bloody, after segments, Santa doesn't even want to kill himself, I felt sorry for him. And he killed his wife as well. But she's, all turned to, to a zombie. I actually like this story the most. But you had the cons. I'll review what I think of the show. That's what I mentioned. The show just kept him as Santa Claus who fights grandpas. Not turned out to be a more Santa. I mean, it's a good twist, but it's hard to see him get killed by the cops when the cops would die. I find it's not much of a I can't really. They should have just left one thing, without a twist. And like I mentioned, the story all got a place. You really need to focus what's going on. And I'll also give this one an 8. So I got a 6 for the first minute, 6 segment, and 8 for the 2, 8 for the 3, 8 for the 4. So overall, I believe I'll give A Christmas Horror Story an 8 out of 10. Has it falls, but actually good, good one, some weak ones, but actually enjoyed what it was. You got your pros and cons, so those pros and cons, the thing I like, the thing I thought they should have done the stories separately, without did what I did. So the cons, the pros I mentioned, and the cons I thought they should not have done style like Pulp Fiction, which is you got the stories, all over the place. You really need to focus on this properly. So, thinking out of 10 for me, actually quite enjoyed it. So, that's it for this review. Also, recommend this where I watch this. For anthology, I've definitely look out for this. Actually, quite enjoyed it and recommend it. I guess Jason from Horror Nothing or Jason Hall from the Horror Man, Joe the Horror Man will actually send this. So, yeah. Now to the end of my review. And, the Mother Sinners review in this movie, particularly Jason from Horror Nothing or Jason, Joe the Horror Man or Bon Gigolo, you've probably seen this. Please share your thoughts. You think fair? You like my score? You like what I said? Please share your thoughts. And anyone who might have come across my channel for the first time, I will ask for is like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Well, I wish everyone Happy New Year, which come shortly, and I wish I didn't left these too late. So, bye for now. Peace. Bye. Yes.